to a question or two. First, I need to teach the concepts, I need to teach you implementation in past paper questions, then I'd expect you to solve them on your own. Last formula of the day, although there are a couple of other concepts as well which we need to do, but the formula part, this is the last one. For straight line, this is known as equation of a straight line. Equation of a straight line. For equation of a straight line, our formula is y is equal to mx plus c. This m we just discussed. M is the gradient, right? Slope. We just found, did the formula how to find gradient. This c here is the y-intercept. Now, what is the y-intercept? Y-intercept is the point where a line crosses the y-axis. You see, this is the y-axis. This is the x-axis. So, what's the y-intercept of this line which has been drawn here? Where does it cross the y-axis? This is the y-axis. Where does it cross the y-axis? Yes, it crosses the y-axis at 1, you see, 1 plus 1. So this is our C. C is the y-intercept. Y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. I'll make another line, a random line, to see if you guys actually understood this. Let's suppose I have another line. I have another line. This is my other line. What is its y-intercept? What is the y-intercept of this line which I drew? Where it crosses the y-axis. Now, this is 4, right? It doesn't cross at 4. It crosses at 3, you see. Here, our C is equal to 3. Y-intercept is the point where it crosses the y-axis. We call it y-intercept. C is the y-intercept. I'll make another line just to see if this is making sense. Okay, now what's my y-intercept? What's my y-intercept? Wherever it crosses the y-axis. Now here the C is -5 because you can see it crosses the y-axis at -5. M is the gradient. How do we find the gradient? I showed you on the other slide, on the previous slide, how to find the gradient. And y-intercept, if you have been given the graph, you just directly check where it crosses the y-axis. That would be your y-intercept. For this particular graph, it is 1. Y-intercept is +1. This is our formula, y is equal to mx plus c. This is a standardized formula for every equation of a straight line. M would be the gradient, c would be the y-intercept always. Now, what do we mean by this y and x? Y and x is any point on this straight line. So if I take, for example, this coordinate here, I'm focusing on this coordinate. What's my x-axis value? 1, comma, what's my y-axis value? 3. So here my x is 1, my y is 3. So I can replace this x and y value in this equation, like replace 3, like y with 3, x with 1. Or I can take another coordinate as well. So for example, I take this coordinate here. The x-axis value is up here, -3. My x coordinate is -3. My y coordinate is -5. So I can replace, like this is x, this is y. I can replace these values in this formula, x and y coordinates. So this is what it tells us. X and y can be any coordinates on this line. Yes, lowercase m is the gradient. M is the gradient as has been marked here as well. You see, m is the gradient. So our formula is y is equal to mx plus c. For these equation of straight lines, what we need to do is we need to solve m and c. We somehow need to find a way to solve m and c and write it in our equation. That becomes our answer to the straight line. We do not have to write the values of y and x. We only need to solve m, which is the gradient. We just did gradient on the previous slide. This was gradient of a straight line, right, Asma? This was gradient of a straight line. So we just solve the gradient and we solve the y-intercept and we write it or replace m here with the gradient, a y-intercept like c with the y-intercept value, and that becomes our answer. Can we pick any point and put its y and x values? Yes. Yes. But what you cannot do, Inza, like this coordinate was 1, 3, and this coordinate here is -2, -3. Either you take x and y coordinates of this point. What you cannot do is like taking x coordinate of this point and y coordinate of this point. That you cannot do. Both x and y coordinates have to be of the same point. Same, right? So you can take any coordinates on that straight line. Okay, so for this particular question, our y-intercept is clear, which you guys recognized is 1. So I can replace this c with 1. To find the gradient, what you need to do is you take any 2 points. So I'll take this one, 1, 3. I'll take this one, this is 2, 5. I'll call this x1, y1, x2, y2. My formula for gradient is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Yes, you can, but here this does not cross the 0 point, right? It does not cross the origin. So here you cannot. As long as the straight line crosses the origin, then you can take 0, 0. Okay, now my y2 is 5 minus my y1 is 3 divided by my x2 is 2 minus x1 is 1. This gives me 2. So my gradient is 2, right? So I just randomly took 2 points on this straight line, found my gradient from the formula of gradient. And you can see in this formula y is equal to mx plus c, I replaced my m with 2 because the gradient is 2. Plus my y-intercept, I looked at the graph where it crosses the y-axis, replace the y-intercept with 1. That's it. This is the answer. So in equation of a straight line, you just need to find a way of finding the gradient. Yes, you can take negative values as well, Elisa. You'll get the same answer. And you need to find the y-intercept. Plug them in, substitute them in this equation, y is equal to mx plus c. That's your answer. Okay, I hope this has made sense. Sadullah will do practice questions like past paper questions. Then you'll get how to understand this. Okay, so did you understand this part, how I found the gradient? I just used this formula, Hamdan. Did you understand this? How we found the gradient? Okay. So next what we do is y is equal to mx plus c. Just replace m. M is my gradient. I'll replace this m with 2. That is my gradient. I just found it. Y is equal to 2x. Now y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. This particular line is crossing at positive 1, plus 1. So I just replace my c with plus 1. That's it. This is the answer. You just need to solve m and c, put it in this equation of a straight line. It will always be y is equal to mx plus c. That's your answer. If there are any doubts, please let me know. If there are any doubts, please let me know. C is the y-intercept, like where it crosses the y-axis. So for example, the y-intercept of this line would be -3. It is crossing at -3. So here the c would be -3. Y would be any coordinate on this line. Y and x would be any coordinate on this line in the. So like maybe you can take like this coordinate. The x coordinate, we always write the x coordinate first. X coordinate is -3, y coordinate is -5. So any point, like this is x, this is y, just place it in this formula in place of y and x. You can place it in this formula, right? We can, it depends on the kind of question that we get. we'll do all different types of questions, then you